Hello friends, we are studying this Sabbath school study guide on Ezra and Nehemiah. And this week we are on lesson number 12. Very important lesson which comes very close to us. The lesson is entitled Dealing with Bad Decisions. We all have decisions to make every day. Some of our decisions lead us to God. Some decisions lead us away from God. The memory text is taken from Ezra chapter 9 verse 6. Here Ezra speaks, "And I said, O my God, I am too ashamed and humiliated to lift up my face to you. My God, for our iniquities have risen higher than our heads, and our guilt has grown up to the heavens." Ezra 9 verse 6. Ezra is praying to God, "Oh my God, I am ashamed." I want to ask you this question. Why was this leader Ezra ashamed even to cry unto God? We find the situation. The context was Ezra was in Jerusalem, and when Ezra noticed the intermarriages that the Jews have had with people of the surrounding nations, we find Ezra was deeply hurt. We find in the Bible, Ezra chapter 9 verse 2, "For they have taken some of their daughters as wives for themselves and their sons, so that the holy seed is mixed with the peoples of those lands. Indeed, the hand of the leaders and rulers has been foremost in this trespass." God has forbidden mixed marriages. God has forbidden marriage with the Moabites, with the Ammonites, and other people of the land. But what happened? Because of the exile or because of other reasons, somehow God's people trespassed this rule that God has placed in the community of God's people. And so we find these heathen spouses having a strong negative influence in the community of the Jewish people. As a result, the seed was mixed, which means the trust and the confidence in God was draining away. And so we will find in this week's lesson, how did Ezra handle this situation? How did Nehemiah handle this situation? This week's lesson is very important for us because there are so many young people who are planning to get married, who are preparing to be married. What are some of the counsels that we can get? We find during the time of Moses, there was a man named Balaam. Balaam, he put a stumbling block for the people of God. How did Balaam put a stumbling block for the people to trespass against God? And the result was a curse, and several thousands of people died. Here we find in Numbers chapter 25, verse 1. "Now Israel remained in Acacia Grove, and the people began to commit harlotry with the women of Moab." You will find that Balaam agreed to curse the children of Israel. He tried 3 times to curse God's people. But every time he opened his mouth to curse, only blessings flowed out of his mouth. And so when Balaam failed and the king Balak was disappointed with Balaam, then Balaam gave an idea. He said, "I cannot curse what God has blessed." And so he gave an idea to Balak, the king. "If you do this, if you follow my idea, God himself will curse his people. And what was the idea? He said, send some women, beautiful women of Moab, into the camp of Israel. And what did these women do? Verse 2, Numbers chapter 25, verse 2. They invited the people to the sacrifices of their gods, and the people ate and bowed down to their God. Verse 3, so Israel was joined to Baal of Peor, and the anger of the Lord was aroused against Israel. Relationship with heathen women. God's people joining the heathen. Genesis chapter 6 tells us, when the sons of God saw the daughters of men, we see the whole community corrupted. My friends, we have a very important lesson to learn. Be ye not unequally yoked. When the community of God's people had intermarried and there was so much perversion in their married lives, the community was losing their connection with God. Ezra could not tolerate this. Nehemiah could not tolerate this. What about you and me? We need to stand for God. The greatest want of the world is the want of men and women who will not be bought or sold, who will not be afraid to call sin by its right name. As we progress through the lesson, we will see how Ezra and Nehemiah called sin by its right name, what measures they took to correct the situation. Until next time, God bless you.